Hey, I just want to say my mom is like the biggest supporter I've ever had, man. I don't think I've ever shared that much appreciation from my mom ever before. But I think this time I need to say it in this podcast. But before I do that, I just want to introduce this channel. This channel is Controvert Podcast. Welcome back to all the viewers, where we talk about modern dating, growth motivation, and crazy stories. So getting back to the story, man. My mom, a day ago, actually, she's sick. She's been sick for like a while, probably like 2 weeks. Really bad sickness. Okay,
No, is it COVID or?
it's not COVID.
Oh.
No, don't worry, bro.
No, I'm not worried. I was just asking. I'm worried about it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So she just was still a little sick yesterday, and then she was cooking, right? And she's not cooking for our family, which is a funny thing. So I'll get to that in a little bit. But my dad, he's like moving some stuff around, and then he like hears my mom cooking, and then he comes over and he's like, "Hey, are you cooking?" And then she's like, "Yeah, I need to make food because the other family." She's talking about my brother's family because my brother has like 2 kids, and then his wife. She cooks for my brother's family, bro.
Oh wow.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, that's a lot
And
of.
it's not even cooking for herself or our family, like the family right now that's left in the household, like my dad, me, and then my grandma and herself, and fucking my
That's
dad's
really selfless. Like wow, dude. Like
exactly, bro.
even when she's sick, guys, like she's still doing all this work.
Yeah, dude. And then so I was looking at it, and then I was looking at the interaction between my mom and dad. My dad was like, my dad is usually like, yeah, you need a cook and stuff like that, but he's seen how bad my mom was sick this whole like 2 weeks, and then he's been telling her, hey, like take it easy and stuff. And bro, it's fucking Memorial Weekend. Happy Memorial Day weekend, by the way, guys. So getting back to the story, she was just like cooking, and she was like, yeah, I have to cook, and she thinks it's like her responsibility and all this stuff. And then she just wouldn't stop cooking, right? My dad was just like, dude, I bought like stuff from Costco so that we could eat it. He bought like big ass like tray of chicken Alfredo, and she just felt like it was her responsibility that she has to support my brother's family. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Couple days ago, before this, I was just like doing a lot of work, right? Just doing some grind for a Controvert podcast, doing some editing, all this crap. Been putting a lot of work for this channel. So if you guys want, please subscribe to this channel, please. But been putting a lot of work, right? Whole night I didn't eat. I go downstairs, dude, at about like 10 p.m. Finally get eat. I see a big ass bowl of noodles. And then it has my name on it, Arnold, on top of it. And then I'm just like looking at it. I'm like, dude, holy shit. And the crazy part is that my mom, while I was doing work the whole night from like about fucking 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., I could hear her coughing the whole fucking night, right? And then I at about like 9 p.m., I went into her room to get some tissues because all the tissues are located in her room, my parents' room. And then I saw she was sleeping, and I accidentally woke her up. I was like, dude, she's sleeping at 9 p.m. She didn't feel good at all. And the fact that she didn't feel good, she's sick, she slept early, bro, she time managed her schedule to have cooked early just for my ass when I didn't expect her to. I'm not like the type to go like, hey, mom, I want some food. Where's the food, mom? Give me some food. How come you didn't make any food? And I'm not like a spoiled little brat, but even though I'm not a spoiled bitch, I think she knows that I worked really hard. Or even when I don't even work hard, I'm just playing fucking games all fucking week or all day, right? She still makes food, and then she put like a whole bowl of food, right? And wrote my name on it. And then I was just like, bro, she's fucking sick as hell.
And she's still able to do all this stuff. Like
Yeah.
caring about you and like just taking care of everybody type of thing.
Exactly. And then I started thinking about this, right? And then I started thinking how this would apply to our podcast, how I could talk about it. And I was just thinking about how, right now, why modern dating is a little bit kind of failing because of the lack of gender roles, right? And so when you have a lot of men who grew up in households like this, where their mom was just like their biggest supporter, just no matter what, no matter how fucking sick she is, coughing, fever. She had a fever for like almost 3 days straight.
Wow.
Yeah, and then for her to have a fever, can you move the mic a little closer, by the way? Yeah. For her to have a fever, and then she's still making food. Like she cooked almost every day the whole time she had a fever.
Yeah.
For her to do that and have like so much responsibility, us as men, we kind of look at a woman. If she were to be our wife, would she kind of represent how our mother figure is, how our mom is? So I think that's the problem right now, because I'm not blaming women. It could also be like the difference in the equality now, right? Because men and women are becoming, as we go down this path of becoming more equal,
we're both
financially, working at the same time. It is not as safe to say that, oh, you know, I want to find someone like my mom, right? It's hard to say that. But here's the thing. My mom works full time. A lot of other moms work full time too. So it's not even probably like a gender culture difference. Not gender culture difference. A generation, not gender, generation difference. It could just be that the generation now is slowly becoming a little bit more entitled. And I'm not just putting it all on women, but men have their entitlement as well. This is just one example of what women could have some entitlement now for modern dating, because it's like, well, if I work full time, I come back home, I'm tired. I don't have energy to cook and clean anymore. Right? I'm not expecting my woman to cook and clean, especially if we're working
full time.
Yeah, working full time, and then you want to get that real quick? Yeah, close that. Yeah. Especially if she's working full time and her job is like really intensive, right? But if also she's making the same amount as me, I'm not just gonna be like, oh, because you're a girl, you have to cook, right? So I believe that there is this issue with how the entitlement is now,
in our generation.
In our generation, where it could be like, okay, well, I just worked full time, I just got back home, I'm tired, I don't want to do this. And so where we as men, we go like, oh shit, like I want to find someone who's hardworking, because I'm making more money than this woman, and she's got to pull her weight in some aspects. So I don't know, man. I mean, when I see stuff like that, and then I try to find someone close with like my mom, because I feel like that's how the case is. You find someone that's kind of like your mom as a man, and you find someone that's kind of like your dad as a woman. I'm not saying like you find exactly the same, but kind of like,
it's like you're looking for
certain
some
virtues, right? Yeah, certain virtues. And I think it kind of makes it harder. So I've lowered my standards a lot since I was like young. I've lowered it so much where like now it's I could just go half with cooking and cleaning with women, you know? I don't mind. Even if I'm making more than her, I don't mind doing that. It's
Do you
just
think this is because like we're living in America, in the United States, that like we kind of have to like lower our standards just because the sense of entitlement in our generation has just like grown a little bit more?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. And I think it's a Asian culture especially to have the women cook and clean. And a lot of Asian mothers out there, they're very, very selfless. I can't speak on like white people or black people or you know,
like Hispanics or other
yeah, but if you guys are non-Asians watching this, feel free to like leave your comment on that.
Share your story about it.
Yeah, because our friends are majority like Asians and stuff like that. So when we go to like a household, our friends
gotta take off our shoes, you know,
gotta take off our shoes,
get in the house and stuff like that.
Yeah, dude. And then we go in and then we see the Asian mom cooking, making food and all this stuff for the party. And I don't know. I feel like Asian mothers, they're very powerful in that sense because they're so nurturing and they're so caring. And mothers, that are in that generation, I think they're so powerful. And then when we see that as kids, we try to look for someone that's like that. But it could, like from my experiences, I would be cooking and cleaning more than my ex-girlfriends.
Wow.
And it's crazy because I make more than them and I pay for more of the bill. I don't pay for like all of it, to be honest, but you know, I try to be equal, but of course it's not going to be equal, right? Because if I'm providing more,
working harder
financially and providing more love and affection, it's like,
and it's not being reciprocated.
Yeah. And it's like, I'm cooking and cleaning more. So it's not equal for me. Definitely not equal for me, but at least I want to see some effort, right? So I have lowered my standards a lot, but it's so hard for men like us to find someone that are close to how hardworking our Asian moms are, or how hardworking non-Asian moms are. If you guys have hardworking, I don't know, moms or anything.
I think this might be like a little bit of a cultural thing, because like I feel like my parents personally, they're immigrants or kind of first generation.
Yeah.
So like they kind of grew up like out of the States, where they were probably groomed to like do all this stuff and then like kind of take on all this responsibility. But like I feel like nowadays with our generation in the US, when we're trying to find the same exact thing, like looking for a girl that has like our mother figures, like kind of virtues and stuff, I feel like that's just like impossible to find now, because everyone in the States or in the US is kind of just a little bit more entitled, and like they haven't been like exposed to like how it is like back in the motherland, you know?
Yeah.
So like it's kind of like a little bit like different, I would say, now in our society.
Yeah. So hey, let me ask you a question, because I know like your parents are split, and then it might be a little bit like of a difference in culture, right? So with that, like you probably just like had experiences just growing up seeing other Asian moms. Like if you go like someone's house, like a friend's house, and you see the mom kind of like carrying, like what are some experiences that you encountered probably like in your household versus other households, right?
I would say like when I visit friends in other households, like I do notice the mother or the mom kind of just taking on a lot of the chores, like cooking, cleaning, looking up after the children, like making sure
Do you know if they work full time too?
Yeah, I would say some of them were working jobs as well, and then even after the jobs, like they would come home and then take care of their kids and like cook and clean, and then just make sure their kids are on top of their homework and stuff like that. So I feel like, yeah, a lot of parents or friends, parents that I've encountered, basically, they're just really like loving, nurturing, and caring. But like when I try to find these traits in like girls nowadays, it's just like, God, it's like I'm digging for a needle in a haystack, you know? It's like I can't find anything like that, you know?
Hey, so let me ask you. I mean, you don't have to share this if you don't want to, but because your parents split, right? Do you have like a perspective you could give probably before your parents split or anything like that? Do you have any remembrance of how loving your mom was?
Yeah, so when my parents were still together when I was very young, like my mom had like the traditional responsibilities and duties, like just like cooking, cleaning, and then just looking after us, helping us with homework and stuff like that. But yeah, like after the split, I would say it kind of became like super like independent for me, just to do everything myself, because there wasn't anyone else helping out at home. Because like my dad would be out working all the time, you know, like he wouldn't get home until like late, and then like yeah, he woke up really early for work too. So it's like kind of everything like fell on my own shoulders, like so I had to take care of everything by myself. So I kind of did miss that kind of that like mother figure or like companionship whenever I went to like friends' homes and stuff, and I saw, oh shoot, like they have people, like they have moms helping them with this and that, you know. I'm like, shoot, I have to do everything myself, like what?
Yeah, no, I feel that because you know, I want to give some of the viewers, the ones that like they have split parents, right, something to relate to. But when you ate at my parents' house, like over here, when you ate at our house, I noticed Dalen was very appreciative. He was like, thanks for inviting me over and you know, having food with your parents. And he was very thankful, more than like other friends that I've had over. And I could see that because I could kind of relate that when you have parents that split, you kind of miss that figure, right? But you still know how it felt like before, even when they were not split, and you knew that your mom was very loving, you know, as a Asian or as a mother, right? And so I think mothers are very precious. They're one of the most strongest people in the world because I speak for like the mothers, the current mothers, right? You know, that's the thing. Like sometimes us men, like we're very hesitant to get with this girl and really make her our wife if we're not sure if she could act in the way that our mother can in that full capacity. So I think that's another aspect of dating that's really prevalent because we have a higher standard as men because our parents or our mother, our mothers were fucking glamours. They're like the best, right? Working full time and still taking care of the house.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy, dude. I could barely do that myself. And I think that's a lot of power, you know. That's very powerful that a woman can do that. And I think as we head down this path of women just striving and aspiring to achieve more financially, we kind of lack those gender roles at home where it's very powerful, where we need that nurturing figure.
It provides this like environment that's just super loving and caring. It's like, oh, I could return back home because it's safe, you know, like it's somewhere where I want to be, instead of like if you're in a household that's like kind of like maybe toxic or abusive, or like maybe like some parents that are just like maybe like alcoholic, you know, parents and stuff like that.
Yeah, because it's like how you describe, right? Because after your mom and dad split, it was like your dad's always busy because he's in sales and all that stuff, right? Yeah. And then same thing with my dad. My dad's very busy. Like growing up, I don't think my dad gave me that much love. Like I felt like, and my brothers could agree with this too. I don't blame my dad. I know that's just how life is. Like fathers are very brute. They're like fucking just, stop being a bitch, stop crying, you know. But I really thank my dad for that, because if he didn't teach me to be like very strong, I'd be crying about and bitching about the world, and I wouldn't be where I am today.
Like little things, you'd be crying and bitching about the little things more.
I mean, my dad was really hard on me growing up, but I hated it at that time. But now looking back, I understand.
You appreciate it.
Yeah,
like tough love type of thing.
Tough love, yeah, for sure. And it made me grow into like the person I am. It'd be like if he didn't give me that type of like tough love, I'd be the type to just like bitch about like small things, and I'd be getting hurt about like really small things, and just I wouldn't survive.
You think like tough love like is beneficial for men, so they don't turn out to be like the weak men on our previous video that we posted?
Sure,
like you need that tough love.
You need that. You need that. So like that's why I say like growing up, I hated it. I didn't know why. I mean, I felt like a lot of mental abuse, but honestly, if I were to go back, my dad could have done things a little bit differently. He never physically abused me, okay? It was more like mind fucking. But if I could go back, he could have done things a little bit differently, but I'm still glad. I'm still thankful. I still love my dad like hella, you know, for
exposing you to these like
shaping me into like the man I am now. But getting back to like the difference with my mother, right? Because my dad lacked those certain characteristics of a loving figure, my mom definitely needed to pull that side, and that's why it's very powerful. You have two different polarities. If you only have one, right? Who knows? For example, if you have only a dad, you might receive all this mental abuse, and you don't have anyone to kind of bring up your emotions up, and then you might feel a little bit like a downward spiral. And then that's how some Asian households or some Asian kids in those Asian households, they get abused so much by the mother and father that they don't have a balance. And then when you fall down deeper and deeper, you just explode. And then you see those Asian kids turn out to be fuck ups because they were like, I don't know, they were just punished so much, abused mentally or physically so much. Or if you, other way around, if you have a very loving parent, only loving parents, right?
Yeah.
You'll have a kid that's a little bitch because he was so spoiled all the time.
Or like, I think school shooters come from this.
Yeah, for sure.
They're like, oh, it's okay, don't worry about it. And the fucking kid is just sitting there like, damn, I'm thinking about shooting up a school right now.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you've seen, like, school shooters, they're either very spoiled or they come from, like, really fucked up households where they got a lot of abuse.
They're both extremes. Yeah.
Both extremes, yeah. So, it's not really, like, a very balanced,
You need that balance.
family.
Yeah, I can see that now. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So, yeah, man. I mean, that's pretty much all I had to say, man. That's why I arranged Dalen. I was like, yo, we got to have an emergency meeting because it's Memorial Day weekend, but we got to get this video out because what my mom did, it was just, it's not like it touched my heart. I mean, it did touch my heart, but it was more like it made me realize how powerful a woman with this role, with this responsibility is. Because, damn, man, without a mom, you wouldn't have like a very well balanced family, dude.
And I feel like even like if you are missing a mother figure, like it kind of screws up with what you're looking for in a girl as well. Because like growing up, like for me personally, you might be like not knowing what the right characteristics are to find, because like you've been missing that your whole life, so you're just kind of just jumping around from girl to girl, thinking that what she has to offer is good for you, but like, you know,
or it's like you don't know how to love someone because you never received that much love in your life. Maybe you probably got it from your single dad. You probably got some love from your single dad, but when you see how your parent, either your mom or dad, gives you love, you kind of give that love to your significant other. So if you have a good example set, then you're able to give that love to someone else. You know how to give that love to someone else, but that will be very lacking if you only came from like a single family of a dad. And I say that because not because dads are not loving, but for the most part, right, men are more masculine, so they take on these responsibilities of making money more. They want to be ambitious, and sometimes they could forget the emotional aspect. But anyways, man, that's all I had to say, dude. I just want to say happy Memorial Day to everyone. I mean, my mom, Memorial Day weekend, still cooking. Tonight she's still cooking, which is fucking crazy. It's Monday, Memorial Day. She's still cooking. Oh
and
my god.
She's sick, right?
She's still sick. She's still sick. She was still coughing yesterday. And man, that's all I gotta say, dude. It's crazy. It's crazy. So like, if you're a girl watching this, just think about that. Like, think about how much of a big role, how important you can be in the family, you know, like versus out in the real world. You think about if that's the character you want to be, if you want to have family, if you want to have purpose in your life where you're taking care of your family. And I mean, you could be important out in the real world, or you could be important out in your household. You just got to think about what your preferences are. But if you have anything else different that you think is prominent in this current generation, feel free to let us know in the comments below. Let us know, like, if it is important. Let us know if you have a mother figure like this. Let us know if you're lacking a mother figure, or you see stuff like this. And make sure to like this video. Subscribe to Controvert Podcast, and we'll see you guys next time.